You've finished your flight training and you got that pilot's license, but are you curious now on how to continue flying or what to do next? In this episode, I'll talk about the 5 common ways that you can continue flying, keep having fun, and some cost-saving tips. 1. If you got your license at a flight school and you're happy with them, check to see if they have the availability to continue renting to you. Some schools are super busy or they have limited aircraft, so check ahead of time if they have the flexibility to be able to rent to you after you've done your flight training. Find out if they have a special rate for graduating students. But still, this is going to be the most expensive option for you to continue flight training is renting from a flight school. Stay tuned for my future episode on how to pick a flight school. I'm going to go into greater detail and some of the tips and tricks to watch out for. 2. Buy your own aircraft. There are dozens of different types of airplanes out there and they all serve a different purpose. So ask yourself what kind of flying you want to do and there's an aircraft for that. You can get a Cessna 150 to a 170 to 180 to 185 to a 6 Piper Cherokee, Piper Warrior, Super Cub with Tundra tires, and the list goes on. The important question to ask yourself is what kind of flying I want to do and where do I want to go. Once you figure that out, pick the airplane that suits your needs. The downside to buying an aircraft is that the initial startup cost is going to be quite high, depending on the airplane you choose, of course. But in the long term, you're going to save a lot of money per hour of flight. You're going to have to pay for the airplane. You're going to pay for the insurance. Because you're a low-time pilot, the insurance premiums are going to be higher than usual until you build a little bit more experience. You're going to have to pay for a mechanic to do a pre-purchase inspection to make sure that the airplane is in the condition that the seller says it is. So an important tip to remember is to hire the right people to check out the aircraft to make sure you get what you're paying for and you don't end up with a lemon. 3. Build an airplane. Just like there are dozens of certified airplanes out there, there are even more amateur-built ones. If you are mechanically inclined or have friends with a mechanical background, an amateur-built airplane is a very fun project to do. It's going to take you a little bit of time to build it depending on the kind of kit you get and how much time you can dedicate to the building of the airplane. But an amateur-built aircraft can give you the type of airplane you specifically want, and it's going to take you about 6 months to a year to build it. However, if you're not 100% confident in your mechanical abilities or skills, you can hire an aircraft mechanic to help you and guide you in the process and build the aircraft with you. This of course will cost you a little bit of money, but you can rest assured that the airplane will be built correctly. The downside to building your own aircraft is that you have to do everything correctly and properly because safety is of utmost importance. If you do something incorrectly, you can have catastrophic consequences. Or if something breaks in flight, there's nowhere to pull over and fix it. So as a word of caution, only tackle this type of project if you have the experience or the tools and people behind you to accomplish it safely. 4. Get a partner. If owning your own aircraft seems too expensive or you don't think you're going to be flying enough to justify the cost, finding a partner could be a great solution. Not only will your expenses be cut in half, but it's also good for the airplane to be used and flown. Airplanes don't like to sit because the seals in the engine start to dry up, the fuel deteriorates, and little bugs start to make your airplane their home. So the more an airplane is used and flown, the less mechanical issues develop, and in the long term, end up costing you less money. 5. Buy your own aircraft and then lease it to a flight school or to a flying club. Flight schools aren't money-making cash cows, so their access to capital can be limited. If you can afford to buy your own aircraft, phone around and inquire if anyone's looking to add another aircraft to their fleet. The benefits to you are huge. Not only will they pay you to use your airplane, but you can use it whenever you want to as well. And again, the airplane is being used and it's not sitting and wasting away, developing issues and problems in the long term. As an added benefit, the school will arrange to get all the maintenance done whenever the inspections come due. So it's one less thing for you to worry about. Now, the downside to leasing to a flight school is the aircraft has to be commercially registered. In order to achieve this, the maintenance standards have to be higher than they are for a privately registered aircraft. Therefore, if you buy something that is not mechanically up to scratch, then you'll have to invest more money to bring it up to that standard. Also, if the school is super busy and they're constantly using your aircraft, unfortunately, sometimes there might be days where you can't fly it. So I encourage you to look deeper into this if you do decide to lease to a flight school, and make sure you put everything in writing in a contract. Well, I do believe that's all I got for you today. Connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and I'll see you next week.